Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, aka PURPLEXEDQT, and I have an interview for you guys on an update on the two missing boys in California. It's about a 30-minute interview with the chief of police. It's got some interesting stuff and kind of explains a lot. So, without further ado, here we go.
Um, so obviously, it's been more than a month since these two boys, Orrin and Orson West, 3-year-old and 4-year-old, have gone missing in California City. Um, what can you just go over, just for everyone else? What do we know so far?
So far, we've collected many pieces of what we think could possibly be evidence. We've questioned multiple people, we've searched multiple places, and we're following up on almost every clue or tip that we get. So at this point, we have nothing that actually shows us or proves to us what happened to the boys or where they're at, but we're still doing our best and going over everything as we possibly can.
So there's been no hints as to even a general people who have seen them most recently. Is there one location of where someone last saw them?
Well, based on the adopted parents' statements, they were last seen here in Cal City on the 21st of December. As far as anyone else seeing them any particular times, was prior to those dates. So again, we've had clues and tips to people that think they possibly seen them or actually spoke with them, which have not panned out to this point.
Yeah, so there's no really way to verify whether someone's telling you the truth if they actually did see these two kids.
No, other than follow up on it. And if it leads somewhere, we go, and if it doesn't, then we go on to the next.
Could you give me, I mean, other than the adoptive parents, where and when was the last time someone outside of those parents saw those kids?
Again, that's we're not sure.
Okay.
With the people we've talked to, maybe saw them before, way before, days before. We're trying to nail all that down. But after, we haven't been able to come up with anybody who has seen them since. We
Okay.
followed up on some leads and some tips and some clues that once again did not pan out to be true.
Exactly. Okay, then, so why, I know you spoke with us with the media a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
clarifying everything that you've known. It doesn't seem like, I mean, we've seen some action and some different things happening uh, from police and the adoptive parents as well. But could you tell us why there hasn't been any update from police recently?
We don't have a whole lot of new information that we can actually share. So when I get these calls for updates, all I can say is, we're still working on it and we have nothing new to share with you at this time.
Yeah. It's mostly, I mean, at this point, it's going through evidence of things that you guys have taken from the house, correct? And things that,
Correct. Processing all the evidence, processing, we have, hours of security video from the surrounding neighborhood. We have hours of body cam video that was turned in and downloaded by our officers during the investigation that we're still going through, and hours of interviews that we're still going over.
yeah. Has there been any new, have you gotten back any analysis reports of the evidence that has been from that house, or is it
Nothing
still being
significant.
processed?
Nothing significant as of yet.
Okay. So there isn't, just to clarify, there hasn't been anything really new since the last time we spoke. Um,
Nothing big or earth shattering that I can share at this point.
the only, I mean, in terms of the investigation, but in terms of outside of that, we know that the adoptive parents are no longer in the house. They moved out like kind of right after Christmas, and we don't really know where they've been. But people did see there was a man that came and boarded up the windows. I know there was some vandalism to the windows of the house by neighbors who are just frustrated with this situation. But obviously, that's trespassing. Have you arrested anyone who,
No,
vandalized the house? Did you?
no, we haven't made any arrests on that. To the best of my knowledge, there was a window broken that has been boarded up, and that is true. We believe that they are no longer living in the house, but we do also believe that they've been back a couple of times to either take items out of the house or whatever. But as far as we know, we spot check it quite often, and we don't see a whole lot of activity at the house.
Yeah, and so the man came to board up the windows. A neighbor told me that that man was hired by Trezell West, the adoptive father.
Makes sense.
But there is a one rumor that police paid for that boarding up the windows. Is that, can you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Just to
Not
clarify
true.
that.
Trust me, I know that.
Police weren't involved in the boarding
No.
up of that house.
No.
And so Trezell and Jacqueline West, the two adoptive parents, they're allowed to go in and out of the house as freely as they'd like.
Absolutely.
But police also have that warrant, and they're able to go in and out freely, correct?
Every time we choose to go in, we'll get a new warrant. It's
Okay.
just it's better that way, and it's cleaner.
Okay.
So if we choose to go back in, we'll obtain another warrant.
And when was the last time police went into the house?
I think it's been about a week and a half since we've been back.
And did you take out more evidence, more things from that?
I think we took out one piece of evidence at the time.
Yeah. Could you clarify, like, how much have police taken out of that house? I know I remember when I was there was bags of things taken out by FBI agents and Cal City PD. Is there any way to talk about?
I can't speak to actually how many pieces of evidence we've recovered from the residence. I know it's quite a few, from inside the residence, outside the residence, and around the backyard and such, out of the garage, out of one of the, there's a shed in the back. So we've taken items out of there as well.
Can you verify that, police have searched every corner of that house? Is that correct?
I can absolutely testify to we have searched every corner of that house.
Even, yes. I mean, I know we have those videos of the, FBI and other agencies working with Cal City PD digging up the backyard of the house.
Yes.
And I believe you guys did take some pieces of evidence out of the backyard, but nothing substantial was found back then, correct?
No.
And so something that a lot of people have been asking me, and a lot of people believe, that the kids could be, unfortunately, underneath the floorboards of the house, not the backyard, but in the house, underneath the house. Have police looked under there?
We've looked everywhere possible in the house we can possibly look, and we brought in search dogs, cadaver dogs. Every dog you can think of has been in that house and has not had any hits anywhere in the house.
Okay, but can you verify that you've searched under the floors of the house?
We've searched everywhere we can possibly search in that house. Yes.
Okay. And so,
and I believe the house is on a slab, so it would be pretty hard to get under the slab.
Can you clarify what that means?
A slab foundation, which means cement foundation.
Oh, okay. Okay, and so how many people are on Cal City Police Department? Just curiosity.
I've total, including myself, we have 13 sworn.
13 sworn in. And so I know last time I spoke with you, you said there were 4 total agencies working on this case, or are there more now?
At that time, probably, yeah.
How many agencies are now working on this case? Are they still?
I think we're down to 2.
2 agencies now. Is the FBI still involved? Are they still supporting you guys?
They're still processing our evidence, to the best of my knowledge.
And some of that evidence is also being processed by Bakersfield Police currently.
That is correct.
Okay,
they've been a huge help.
So those 2 agencies that are still remaining are BPD and
Bakersfield has played a big part because, they have the technology, they have the labs, and they have the manpower to help us out.
Yeah.
Oh, and Kern County Sheriff's has helped us recently. Their search and rescue team has helped us. The DA's office has helped us as well.
Yeah. And so currently the FBI and BPD, are they still auxiliary supporters of this case, or there's been rumors as well that BPD has taken over the case, or is that true?
We are still primary on the missing persons. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, we are still primary at this point.
Okay, but they're still supporting you guys and your small police department. Okay.
Because not only do I have to keep people on this case, but I also have to run my everyday operation.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and aside from, we'll get into the rumors. I've already touched on a few, but we'll get into those shortly. I know that there have been some, you mentioned you've been following up on every clue or every investigation or kind of, what's the word, lead that any of the locals or the neighbors have given you.
Yes.
Have there been a lot of false leads or discoveries from the public? Could you touch on those?
I wouldn't say they're false. I would say people have called in what they believe could possibly lead us somewhere, and I appreciate that. I really do. What would help us more is when they do call in, if they could give us more details. I'll get someone call and say, I think I saw the kids and they were by a car. I don't have a license plate. I don't have a description of the person. And again, I am appreciative and grateful for any piece of evidence or information we can get, and we'll do our best to follow up. We still have a long list that we try to knock them out as we go. But the more specifics we have, the easier it is for us to follow up, and there's more credibility to the information that we're receiving.
So could you touch on how many you've received? I know.
What we do is if those calls come into our dispatch has a tablet that's several pages long in dispatch, and those get forwarded to me on a daily basis, and I do my best to, if I'm not doing the follow-up absolutely myself, doing the legwork myself, I try to delegate that out to one of my officers to do the follow-up.
Yeah. But you generally follow up on most of those leads, or
the best. So between us and Bakersfield, we try to follow up on everything.
Yeah.
If it has enough substance for us to follow up on.
Yeah. So I know the reward money is at $100,000 at this point.
Last I heard it was at 80. So
yeah,
I have not been keeping track of that.
I have been as a journalist, but there have been, substantial amounts from even the adoptive family, the city, the local businesses. A lot of people have been pitching in,
which is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it's mainly out of the hope to get someone to step forward with, of course, with information.
Right.
You do believe someone knows something and they're just not stepping forward.
Of course. Someone out there knows something. They know where these boys are, what's happened to these boys. Yes, there has to be someone.
It's not possible that these boys just walked out of the house and are missing.
I'm not going to say it's not possible. It's not likely in my mind.
So it had to be, some other person involved, whether, a neighbor or, a family member or something like that.
That's what
Is it looking more like since it's been a month since these kids have been missing? I know after the first 48 hours, it's everyone knows that statistic. It's less and less likely as the days pass on to find these kids alive. Do you think it's...
Well, just to be clear, the 48 hours is usually in some kind of homicide.
Yeah.
If the first 48 hours are the critical, and I understand that. But if these kids are still alive, and there's still hope, then time. The longer it takes, obviously, the less chance that we're going to find them. But I still have hope, and I still have confidence that we will.
Is it looking more like a recovery than it is a search and discovery?
Again, I don't want to say that. I want to remain optimistic that they're still alive.
Yeah. So how much, or has anyone actually come forward with new information that they think would win them the award money, like anything like that?
Yeah, we've had dozens of people come forward with what they believe is good information that hasn't panned out.
Okay.
But that's fine. I'm not discouraging that. I'm not turning anyone away. I understand that there's private investigators out there. I welcome them. If they want to come and search, please. But the only thing I ask is you don't impede our investigation, and anything you do find, please share with us so we can do our follow-up as well.
Yeah, and how much longer until you think that this would be considered a cold case?
I don't want to put a time limit on that because we're still, actively looking. We're still actively working the case. So we're not at a point now that we're exhausted or want to give up. So I really don't want to give a timeline on that until we can decide something or come up with, that we've gone and checked everything we can check, and we're just out until it gets to that point, and it's not at that point yet. That's when I would say.
So
But in a missing persons, and it never ends. Just like a homicide, there's no statute of limitations on a homicide. We will always continue to look. I've got some cold cases right now that I have someone that works full time trying to solve those cold cases. So we'll never completely give up.
So it's one of those 13 sworn in officers that does work on cold cases specifically.
Actually, no. I brought in another crime analyst that is his sole job. He's a retired LA County homicide detective, tons of experience and tons of investigative knowledge. He's an amazing guy, and he's been working on my cases for since I've been here, and I've been here a year now. And he's making progress on a majority of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of those coming to fruition pretty soon.
That's amazing. Is he looking at the other cold cases of missing persons as well? How many else are there? How many else are there right now?
Right now we have 8.
8 other missing cases that.
But going back almost 20 years. Progress on a majority of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of those coming to fruition pretty soon.
That's amazing. Is he looking at the other cold cases of missing persons as well? How many else are there? How many else are there right now?
Right now we have 8.
8 other missing cases that.
But going back almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So we're close on about a third of those right now.
Yeah.
He's done some amazing work.
And to clarify, I mean, there was multiple human remains that have been found in various cities kind of surrounding California City. You can clarify that none of those remains are related to the 2 missing boys, correct?
The ones that I'm aware of recently, as of most recent, there was one between Mojave and Rosamond, which is not one of ours at all. And they found some remains, what they believe to be human remains near Tehachapi on Saturday, which turned out to be either a dog or a coyote.
Exactly. It just remains in general that people assume to be human, and then.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so the human remains near Rosamond and Mojave, were those related to any of the cold cases in California City currently?
None of ours. No.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to these rumors that we've been getting. I've been in Cal City almost every day since this case has begun, and talking to the neighbors there, talking to just people driving by. There's so many people concerned about this case, and they have a lot of questions. So I spoke with some of them.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly. And
no, I don't want this thing to die. I want the momentum to keep on. So as long as those kids' names are out there and they're on people's minds, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know if this will ever die down soon.
I hope not.
And it's good to know that Cal City PD is also not exhausted with all the options yet. There's still.
No. All of my guys are very invested in this, and they want to see it come to some sort of resolution as well.
Yeah. And to dispel some of those rumors, I'm always trying to, be frank with people about what you guys are actually finding, and keeping in touch with you and trying to figure out what's actually happening down there. So one thing is, just to clarify, Trezell and Jacqueline West, the adoptive parents, did used to live in Bakersfield, correct?
Correct.
And so I know you had mentioned previously that Cal City PD had been they've been cooperative with you guys throughout the investigation. And currently they're no longer in their house. The windows are boarded up.
I don't think the windows are completely boarded up the whole house, just the ones that were broken. And I've been by there a few times, and to the best of my knowledge, I don't think it's completely boarded up. But I haven't been by there in a couple of days.
The front door isn't boarded up, but I believe, not just the one that was broken, all of them are the ones
that could be.
The ones that I saw at least. They might have added some since you've seen it, but regardless of that, they're not in the house right now, or we don't think they're in the house. Are they in Bakersfield? Do you know if they're in their old apartment? Have you guys been in touch with them?
I believe that, yes, they are in Bakersfield, but I don't know exactly where they're staying.
Yeah. Are they staying within the realm of, California City, so that you guys can reach out to them if you need any information or anything necessary?
Yes. They've been readily available every time we've reached out.
Okay. So they've been in contact with you guys. You're still aware of their whereabouts and things like that.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So, but you're not certain exactly where they're staying currently.
I don't want to share that.
Okay. But were they ever in protective custody of police?
No.
Like, were you guys ever, helping protect them because of all the threats they've been getting?
No.
Okay. So you know where they are, not willing to share the exact location, but they are in touch with you in case anything comes up.
Yes, we know how to get in touch with them if need be. Okay,
and one other rumor I'm hearing is that there's you've mentioned this, that you've searched every corner of this house. Are there hidden rooms in the house?
Not that I found.
Okay. And I've been seeing, this is
not to mention, they only lived there 3 months. So unless they built a hidden room while they were living there over between September and December, I'm not saying that's impossible, but we didn't find anything that appeared to be a hidden room. Any kind of clean out for even the plumbing. We've gone in there and looked. We've looked in the attic. We've looked in the chimney. We've looked everywhere in that house multiple times.
Is there any reason, maybe you can't disclose this, but is there any reason to believe that you guys will make an arrest soon?
I won't comment on that.
Okay. And on a lighter note, I've been seeing a lot of memes and posts on social media about you being an actor. Just want to dispel that rumor. Were you ever an actor? Are you currently an actor?
Yeah.
You were an actor. Oh, okay.
Yes. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm taking a lot of heat over that. I retired from Los Angeles Police Department in 2015, and just to relax and have something different to do, I pursued a acting career and a music career. And so I've got some old like promo video out there and stuff that I recorded in like 2015, and I'm getting ripped for that. I'm like, I don't understand. First of all, everyone has a life outside their professional life, and second of all, that was in 2015, and it's not like I'm doing anything wrong. I'm singing songs. And that's a problem. I get these nasty messages like, why aren't you out there looking for the kids? Well, I am out there looking for the kids on a daily basis. I haven't done anything different or less than that since the 21st of December of last year. So, but people are going to say what they're going to say, and that's okay.
I assumed it was just concern over like you acting as a police chief and you're not actually the police chief, which is an absurd.
28 years with the Los Angeles Police Department. So I've got now almost 33 years in the business. So yeah, did I try acting as a sideline? You bet. I can find you hundreds of officers that have done the same. So, but again, it was just a hobby just to keep myself occupied. But inevitably, what did I do? I came back to police work because that's my passion, and I missed it.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to apply for chief here. I applied, and out of several candidates, I got the job. So I'm not going to turn that down, and I don't pass up big opportunities like that. Actors can be actors anytime. I still got my SAG card if anybody wants to look that up.
Yeah.
So
And then one last question for the public. I know, as I mentioned, people are still really care about this case, and they're still trying to help Cal City PD search. So, where should they be searching? What should they be doing right now? I know you're never going to say no to more help, but
No, I guess my request to them is just keep your ears open and your eyes open, because again, like we discussed, somebody knows where these kids are. Someone knows. And it's really hard for people to keep secrets. So just keep your eyes open, your ears open. If you hear any information, please feel free to call us. I think you have the tip line that you can totally be anonymous. I think I have that on my desk, actually. Oh, look at that. It's right here. 661-322-4040. They can call that number. They can call my dispatch. We keep a record of all the calls that come in and all the clues, and we do our best to follow up on all the anything that has substance that we can follow up on. We will.
And so there isn't necessarily a specific place or a body of water or.
No. Again, I will say that we start from the inside out. Where do we see them last? The information that we have is they were last seen at their home on Aspen here in California City. So, they can expand that search as much as they want. And we've searched the desert with probably a 5-mile radius around the home. Searches have been done in Bakersfield. Searches have been done in Tehachapi. We went out to Silver Saddle, which is about you're aware of the Silver Saddle. It was an old resort. It's probably it's a huge piece of property, but the resort itself is probably about 20 acres. We went out there with over 50 bodies to search that last week. So we don't want to spend our resources just searching willy-nilly. We want some sort of direction, somewhere where we actually think that they could possibly be. Because let's face it, California City's 205 square miles of desert. So we need some direction. And if we have a direction or a tip or a lead, we'll go search it. We don't have a problem doing that. And if I don't have the bodies, I'll find the bodies to go search.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well,
that's my hope.
Thanks again, Chief. I know that was a long interview, but thank you for clarifying some things. I know this is important to everyone. I know it's important to you. So
extremely important to me.